Hi, welcome to Storytime with Granny Annie. I want to tell you about someone very special to my life. His name is Mr. Rogers. This is a picture of him. He has already passed away, but when I was a little girl, he was my favorite person on TV. He had a great show called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. You might be more familiar with Daniel Tiger in Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. The reason that Daniel Tiger exists is because it came from the imagination of Mr. Rogers. This is one of my favorite things. It's an imagination trolley. So I'm going to have little Daniel Tiger sit with me while I read a book. It's from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Do you see Mr. Rogers? You might see some familiar faces. This is called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Henrietta meets someone new. Do you like to meet new people? I sure do. When someone new comes to our neighborhood, we sometimes wonder if people will like that person more than they like us. Sometimes that concerns me too. Let's pretend that Henrietta Pussycat is worried about a visitor who is coming to the neighborhood of make-believe. So now we gotta hop on the trolley to go to the neighborhood of make-believe. Henrietta Pussycat was on her way to visit Grand-Pierre. She was walking along thinking, I like this neighborhood. I have so many friends here. I hope this neighborhood always stays the same. I hope nothing ever changes. But when Henrietta got to the Eiffel Tower, where Grand-Pierre lived, she could see right away that something was different. There, in the middle of the tower, was the picture of the prettiest, fanciest tiger Henrietta had ever seen. Bonjour, Henrietta, Grand-Pierre called from his balcony. Do you like this picture? Oh, why, yes, Henrietta said. Who is that beautiful tiger? She's my granddaughter. Her name is Colette, answered Grand-Pierre. She's coming here for a visit all the way from Paris. I would like to visit Paris someday. Henrietta thought for a minute. We don't need any visitors here, she said to herself. We're all happy with each other. I don't want anyone new to come. Henrietta didn't feel like visiting Grand-Pierre anymore, so she turned around and walked away. I'll go visit X the owl instead, Henrietta decided. I like X and he likes me. We can play together. But when Henrietta got to the tree where X lived, she could see right away that something was different there too. X wasn't in his tree. He was on the ground with a big piece of cardboard and some brushes and a can of bright red paint. May I have a brush too, so we can play together? Henrietta asked.
Sure, Hen. Here you are, said X. I'm painting a sign that's going to say, Welcome, Colette.
Suddenly, Henrietta didn't feel like painting anymore. She gave the brush back to X and walked away. Henrietta went to Lady Elaine Fairchild's museum go-round. I like Lady Elaine, and she likes me, she thought. We don't need extra people to have fun. But when Henrietta got to the museum, she could see right away that something was different there as well. There was a big banner on top of the museum with letters that spelled out something special. Hello, Lady Elaine, are you there? Henrietta called out to her friend. Lady Elaine came out of the museum.
It's all about Paris, so Colette will feel at home when she gets here.
Henrietta wrinkled her nose and said, But this is not her home, this is our home. We don't want anyone new to come here.
You must be kidding, said Lady Elaine. I just love to see new people and new things.
And she went back to her museum to work. Henrietta walked away. I wasn't kidding, she thought. I don't want anybody new to come. She might just decide to stay, and she'd be prettier and sweeter than I. and Henrietta started to cry. It wasn't long before Daniel Striped Tiger came by Henrietta's crying place. Henrietta and Daniel often played together. They were the same age. Here's Mr. Daniel Tiger. "Why are you crying?" Daniel asked. "Because I'm sad," Henrietta answered. "Why are you sad?" Daniel asked. Henrietta told Daniel all about Colette's coming. She said she didn't want anybody new to arrive because there would be just too many people. She was feeling pretty jealous. Have you ever felt that way? I sure have. Daniel said he understood because sometimes he felt that way too. And while they were talking, somebody carrying a suitcase came up to them and said, "Excusez-moi, I am not speaking English very well. Could you help me?" Henrietta and Daniel both said, "Are you Colette?" And the visitor said, "Oui," which is yes in French. "I am Colette. I need help. I'm looking for my Grand-Pierre." Henrietta looked at Daniel and she looked at Colette and said, "We will take you to Grand-Pierre." Daniel helped carry the suitcase and Henrietta took Colette by the paw and they walked over to Grand-Pierre's Eiffel Tower. As soon as Colette saw her grandfather, she kissed him on both cheeks. They both started speaking in French. Then Colette remembered Henrietta and Daniel. "No friends help Colette," she told Grand-Pierre. And Grand-Pierre said, "Thank you so very much. I hope you'll help Colette meet the other neighbors, too. You know them all so well." Henrietta said, "Oh, we will. Just call us when you need help again." As Daniel and Henrietta walked home, Henrietta talked about how they could help Colette understand X's Welcome Colette sign and Lady Elaine's Something Special sign. And Daniel interrupted and said, "Henrietta, I thought you didn't want anybody new to come to this neighborhood." And Henrietta said, "I didn't at first, but when I saw that Colette needed us, I thought it was kind of nice to have her here." And Daniel just said, "Oh," and the two of them walked past the crying place over to a secret place where they often liked to play. Henrietta was happy when she found out that Colette and Grand-Pierre really needed her. After that, she felt she could be a friend to Colette. Children are often surprised to find out how much grown-ups really need them, and we really do. And it's a happy surprise, isn't it? I think so. Daniel Tiger has something to say. He says God made you very special and he loves you so much. Bye-bye for now.